There are a lot of risks in the world at the moment. Now, I hasten to say, before anybody looks at this and gets thoroughly depressed after I talk about what's coming up over the next year, that there is an old saying that the markets climb a wall of worry. There is always something bothering us. And possibly the thing that should always bother us the most is when we haven't got much to be bothered about, because that's when confidence is riding high. You know, as Shakespeare writes in Macbeth, security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Put it another way, pride comes before a fall. Yeah, when you're not looking for the risks, that's when you are most at risk of walking into something that's devastating. So, one could be optimistic on the basis that there are so many things to worry about. Italy's banking system, which was never cleaned up after the 2008 credit crisis, is in a mess. And because EU rules prohibit governments from bailing out their banks unless the bondholders have taken a hit, Renzi, Italy's PM, because Italian bank bonds are held by ordinary Italian savers, can't, under the current EU rules, bail out his own banking system without hitting ordinary Italian savers, which will cost him his premiership. So I suspect you've got a fudge coming on that one pretty quick. Then we've got the election of a new US president, with both Hillary Clinton and Trump lurching towards protectionism. If that happens, then that's going to dent free trade, which is going to make the whole world a little poorer. And then next year we've got major elections in France and Germany. And in France, certainly, there's a resurgence of support for Le Pen and the Front National. And it won't have been lost on the French that in the polls they dislike the EU even more than we did. So if they had a referendum, the chances are France would jump the way we've gone by a bigger margin. Now, that may be a good or bad thing economically long term, depending on your perspective, but it is certainly going to cause some short-term turmoil. But there is some decent news around. The US economy is doing reasonably well. Inflation is above 2, core inflation in the US, and has been for some time. And it's beginning to look like perhaps we are getting to a point when this long-term low interest rate period will come to an end. It will come to an end because economies are picking up, which will be very good for investors who will be able to look forward to getting better returns on their money in the future. However, if you're holding long bonds, beware, because as those interest rates shift, you're going to take a pasting on your bond price.